Hey there, everybody. How have you been? I have been working hard, building out some of the character assets. I'm happy to announce that we are now using the official assets made for the character stuff. It's pretty cool. I found a few I found a few different uh, sort of like a mesh framework, like sort of like a you can see it's like a bunch of little octagons, and I feel that that adds a nice little base layer of texture. And so yeah, you can see it on here. And yeah, and then with that, I also created some cool stuff with the layering. So let's check that out. So let's move that over here. So okay, so let's yeah, I've been busy. No capes. Quality reference. Welcome back, Jimmy Dogwitz. The okay, so we have okay, so costume base. So we have that. Also, I added a new color palette area, which you will see in a second is pretty handy. So let's see, what color should we go with? Maybe like a reddish. And so now, if I want to, I can now apply the pants and then immediately click the previous added one. So that makes stuff a little bit easier. Well, hey there here. Thankfully, the character style is thankfully, I actually engineered the entire back end to be flexible. So I'm not in the mood to argue and explain things today. So let's change it to blocky so that everyone thinks it's just that. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, the entire system has been designed to be able to be agnostic to the actual character style, to allow us to have, a lot of flexibility because at this point, while I definitely know that there are a lot of people who prefer blocky, they aren't the majority anymore. The entire community is divided among different body types at this point. So yeah, so now we have these different items. So let's add that. So we can add costume base, costume base. Let's see. Let's go for red color. Let's actually go back and edit this one to also be that red color. Let's see. Let's go with how about let's make a nice light blue skin tone. Um, let's make how about golden eyes? Huh. Wonder why the clothes stopped rendering. Oh well, that'll be something to fix. Yeah, the I agree that like I know a lot of people feel blocky's better, but a lot of people don't, and that's why I'm kind of trapped, you know? Because there are people out there who joined after like 2017 who don't really care at all for blocky, you know. But then there's people who from before that from like the older days who grew up with it and prefer it. Um, so yeah, so yeah, well, I have support for both. We both we all understand here that those two body types standing next to each other look horrible, right? Like whatever the solution is, we can't have them standing next to each other. I hate the Roblox aesthetic of having all these different art styles just mashing together. Not everything should look like Spider-Verse. Like, my goodness. Um, but yeah, so why does that keep happening? Okay, well, that's a mystery for another day. But yeah, we can let's see, we can hopefully okay, there we go. Yeah, we have a lot of control over the texturing of things these days. Um, but yeah, so let's get the clothing to re-render. Okay. The what is it? There we go. Let's see. I mean, I think that Well, the problem with combat mode is, yeah, people who play more frequently do hang out in roleplay mode more, but it's like a 60-40. Like it's not a complete like victory on one half, and that leads to some issues. You know, like that's the problem here. I found myself in a situation where I have a bunch of different, very opinionated subgroups in my audience, and I'm having to increasingly spend time just like trying to make them all happy. But yeah, so here's okay. Here's also the pattern stuff, which I'm excited about. Um, yeah, so we have also the inner arm option. Why is it rendering the entire thing? I must have broke something last minute because I swear it was working earlier. You know, this is what happens when you demo stuff live. But yeah, like the well, I don't know why it's redrawing the entire body. I'll have to figure that out off stream because that's a headache to figure out on stream. But yeah, like we can have let's see what's a good color for this. There we go. Okay, it's getting through. All right, and then we can do the same thing here, where we can add a center. We can add the center stripe, make sure that it has that same color. Yeah, and then we can get you know, we can also get that added. Yeah, unfortunately, getting these to match up has proved to be a real headache. So for the most part, we're just gonna not worry about that because the problem with the complex UV meshing for stuff. But you know, we'll get to we'll have we'll add more of these over time to allow for every distinct look. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Why every time I add an accessory, it deletes the clothing, which I don't really know what to make of. Yeah, let's see. Avert your eyes. How about let's do more of like a silvery one, and then just pop back into this to get to re-render. There we go. Okay. Yay. So yeah, I think stuff is looking pretty good for the most part. Like as you can see, this is an actual thing. Also, I alphabetized the emblems, which is nice, and we can actually see how all this looks in practice with the with the legacy data stuff. Well, yeah, actually having multiple emblems is now an official feature. You can now have multiple emblems in the game. So yeah, this is what Red Rage looks like. I think that like you know, stuff is really coming together in terms of how all this looks. You know, like I think that we're getting some pretty nice outfit styles. You know, I already have added letters. Let's after these finish loading, let's take a moment and look at the different at the emblem editor because I feel like there's some demand for that today. But yeah, so this is how well the current like porting of Superhero Life 2 data is, which you know since it already works, might as well keep it. You know, allow people to transfer stuff over. But for the most part, the okay, I'm not really. I think we've played enough games this week. I'm a little bit gamed out right now. The but okay, so let's check out emblems for a second. All right, so we have this. We have just a bunch of different emblems. Like let's take a moment to actually explore what that would look like. Okay, so we can have that. So, you know, we can make it a golden background. Let's move it in a little bit. Position forward, backwards. So there we go. Okay, and let's change the scale. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Maybe not that small. That's good. And then so let's add a letter. Let's see. So I believe the letters all start with like letter something. So we have to get to the L's. Let's see. Or maybe text? Text. There it is. Okay. So we have numbers, letters. Let's see. Let's go with an S. All right. Nice. Now let's texture that. Let's make it kind of, we can make it kind of a light blue. Can shrink it to fit. Um, yeah, and you know we can rotate it if we want, but I don't think that looks too good in this case. Let's set the material. Okay, how about let's go with we can go with a metal, neon, of course. Recently added force field, though I'm not sure that looks too good right here. Let's go with neon. And yeah, so then we can mess around with that. And yeah, I'm not, this isn't, the goal is not for this to be a Let's Play stream. If you want me to check it out just on my own time, yeah, definitely post a link somewhere. But for the most part, I'm just trying to make my own thing. No, I'm not really looking to take too direct inspiration from anyone in particular. Okay. Yeah. But no, like I think that how long have I been developing? Since I was 10, and I am 26 now, so 16 years. It's been a while. Yeah, the well, at the end of the day, like, there's definitely I think that we have a lot more masks now. So people won't have to and a lot more hair options even. So people can be a lot more direct as to what looks good, you know? So I think that that's going to help things out a lot. And also we can layer the hats a lot more directly. Um, like if you want to apply this, then add another one on top of it, you can. If you wanted to do something like that. Let's see. What's a good combo? At the end of the day, most combos won't look good, but I want to encourage y'all to be able to do whatever um, makes the most sense. Um, nah, can't make letters backwards. That's actually an engine limitation. I can't invert a mesh super easily. If I use editable meshes, I could do that, but that's a lot of effort for flipping a letter. I'm not sure that's worth it. Um, so let's see. But yeah, we can do this. You know, trying to think what else. Hoods. Oh yeah. Also, of course, these all support some dynamic retexturing stuff. So if you wanted to make your own make it certain colors, you can. So we put a lot of work into making sure that this is how plasma. We're literally looking at the blocky guy right now. It's Superhero Life 4 is going to be whatever most people want. I've built in compatibility to support different body types, and that will and as to which one ends up going in the main game, I'll probably just do some A/B testing to see what that would looks best. I just literally select what people like the most. And yeah, then we'll go with that. Yeah, I mean there are a lot of masks. There's even like a whole helmet section. Um, like there are literally hundreds of these. Like there's you're not gonna run out of cool things to add to the game, for sure. Yeah, so I think people should be able to upgrade their character a lot more than they have been historically. Yeah, like look at there's like 10 pages of these. Yeah, so that's the current situation. Yeah, we can, of course, we can remove them as well. Yeah. Also, of course, recolorable eyes. What else is there these days? Yeah, the jackets. The reason I'm not a huge fan of the blocky ones is because the blocky ones don't play too well with layered clothing. And I think that layered clothing adds a lot of possibilities for the character stuff. Like as you can see, it just doesn't look great. So, you know, not a huge fan. But at the end of the way, you're not forced to use the layered clothing. So if you want to have a blocky private server and then just never use the layered clothing, that's allowed. Yeah, you know? Yeah, I mean, in fairness, technically I already have that set up. Like the whole emblem thing I have, the whole emblem workflow we have here, like that does allow for us to to do all this stuff. Like I can rotate these and stuff, you know? Like if you want to make this an infinity sign or whatever, or like we can, yeah, like it. So technically, we already have that functionality. I just don't know if I want to add it to hats. It wouldn't take too much work. I don't know. I feel like that adds a bunch of functionality that I then have to maintain in the future, which, we'll see. We'll see. I've organized my systems pretty well, so if we change our minds, we should be able to do that later. Um, so yeah, so dynamic capes. In fact, that's one thing I'm trying to figure out today, like how to best do a dynamic cape, you know? Like so let's, I know that a lot of people use beams these days. So I guess we can see what that looks like. Question is, do beams actually do they look good? Because I don't want to have to set up an entire workflow. So beams are let's see. So I guess beams are one option. Trails are another option. Basically, they're just sort of they're two-dimensional icons, kind of that stretch and go. Just Google Roblox beam. It's hard to describe via words, but yeah, it's a 2D thing in a 3D space that you can stretch. Whereas trails are kind of like beams, except they have a lifetime and will disappear. And so yeah, like okay, let's just enter the game and see how. Um, so the basic emblem is just a diamond mesh. Let's see if you go back. Thank you. I'm pretty happy with the map. I think it's looking really good. Um, but yeah, so let's add it. Let's add a beam to my character. Okay, first, let's remove my minigun and my shoulder thing and backpack. Where is that thing? There you go. Okay. So now, attachment beam. Okay, so we have attachment one. Okay, so we'll just call this cape one and then cape zero. And then let's increase the position by uh, up here to one. Okay, so let's go one here, minus one here, plus one here. And so now, with these two attachments, looks like I'll be needing some adjustments. Hmm. Maybe instead of, oh wait, let's try trail. I always confuse beams and trails. Um, okay. There we go. All right. Look, the the infinity cape. But yeah, you can imagine how this, in theory, why some people use these for capes. So we'll have to just see what this ends up looking like. Because the problem is we can't make it go down, to my understanding. So the we'll see. How about let's change the lifetime a little bit. Min length, max length. So yeah, I don't even know if we'll end up using trails necessarily. I just want to see what they look like before I make a final decision. Hmm. Okay. I mean, the problem is how stretchy they are, you know? Like that ends up looking not the best. Um, but like the movement, I feel like, it has like the movement part down. Like, that part when you're running, it looks okay. Um, but when you're not running, it literally disappears. So let's try this again. Okay, so yeah, the so I actually do use that for super speed in Superhero Life 3, believe it or not. Um, so yeah, the beams, sorry, trails will almost certainly be used for super speed. Oh yeah, I know Alan. Yeah, he's made a lot of cool stuff over the years. Let's see. 3.6 Uga. Yes, we are keeping the suit glitch. We're making it a full-on feature. Nah, I disagree, Jimmy Dugwitz. Like literally, what is the point of a cape that doesn't move? Like what, who, in what, an actual character who has a cape that literally is static. Like just, like it's made of rock or something. No, that'd look ridiculous. No. The only, the only reason people would ever ask for that is because they think that, the dynamic cape looks ugly. It's literally, there's no point in considering the static one because, um, well, but we have trench coats now. Like, like if you're using capes for the trench coats, what that means is we should be adding trench coats, not that we should make sure that every cape can support a trench coat workflow, Like we 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 don't want to maintain every single poor use of things. If people are using it for different things, we should make sure to support trench coats specifically, when we do this. Um, but yeah, so what was I doing? What was I doing? Okay, I'm gonna look at free models. That's usually helpful, just to see what other people have done for capes. I'm worried I'm gonna have to do something like I did with Superhero Life 4's super old cape demo, where I had to do like custom physics, and it was exhausting and super non-performant. And so I'm sure there's got to be like a way to do it with beams that's less of a headache. Let's try that actually. I'm gonna try doing this beams. Beams and constraints. Okay, so let's try this again. So we have shoulder minigun, shoulder accessory, backpack. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is I'm in a bad mood today. I don't know what's going on. Some days I think you just wake up grumpy. Cape base. Okay, we'll just call that cape base. And then let's go up one and then actually back or forward one, I guess. Forward 0.5. Now, I'm going to add a part somewhere. I don't know where. At least it's anchored. Okay, so let's add that. Let's move that part to my position. Okay, so there we go. Okay, we're going to make it can collide, can touch, false. We're going to remove all those. And then now, we're going to call this cape. We're going to add a beam under it. Attachment. Okay, so we're going to attach one side to the base and then the other side to here. Nice. Okay, so let's rotate these a bit. I believe I need to rotate it 90 and 90. Yeah, double cape option never. That's a fabric simulation I do not want to work with. Um, I'm open to having more like smaller fabric things, like maybe one thing I'm interested in at some point is like trying like dynamic hair, which like sort of like sways, like if you have like a ponytail or something, or like a beard, like having it move as you run. But yeah. Well, hey, good for Alan to go and make his own thing. Yeah, that's the hope for every modder. I feel, you go you once you've worked with other people's stuff, it only makes sense to want to go and make your own. Um, let's see. Well, in fairness, next to me, Alan probably worked with the code more than any other person in existence. Let's see. Okay, so let's add a constraint. Let's do a. I always mix these up. How about a? Let's just do a rope constraint. Keep it simple for now. Okay, so rope constraint attachment one. Okay, attachment two. All right. All right. So I need to unanchor this now, but I should make it massless first. Okay, yay. Woo! This is actually kind of fun. Okay. So let's move this, let's make this a size 0 just so that we can keep things simple. Okay. Now I think, okay, so let's also do an align orientation. So we are going to try to align the orientation of this. Oh, but I maybe I should change it to be the opposite way because it seems like it's orienting me to let's try. So rigidity enabled. Okay. So underwater wings, we don't even know if we're doing underwater yet. The cape right now should be an option. Yeah. We've reached perfection. I know. I mean, we have like literally hundreds of hairs now, so there's probably something in there which you'll like. So don't worry too much about that. Let's see. I'm going to start moving these over to the cape itself. So align orientation, rope constraint. Let's make that 3. Let's also make it. Uh, let's set this to 0. Where's the beam at? There it is. Okay, so light influence. Da, da, da. Transparency. Set that to 0. Okay, so we need to make sure that it. I always get the constraints mixed up. There's one of them that's like would allow me to keep it from going in front of me. Let's see. Constraints. Bow blocks. Mechanical constraints. Okay, so we have um, okay, so we have a constraint. Okay, so let's see, maybe the universal constraint, is that it? Plane. Okay, there it is. Okay, a plane constraint. Okay, so plane constraint, attachment there, and then cape base. All right, well, not exactly what I was hoping for, but hmm, let's see, prismatic maybe? Trying to remember how I used to do this stuff. I guess I could do like a double prismatic constraint. Hmm. Yeah, let's remove that. Okay. How about I'm just trying to figure out how I can make sure that we never have it go past this one point. Yeah, no, so the vehicles will be a lot better this time around, I promise. Okay, let's while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna make this cape a little bit nicer looking. Um, let's see. Let me make the rope visible just for a second to keep things relatively. Okay, so it doesn't seem like the rope is actually doing all that much. Like it's not actually bending that much. It's just it's all. Okay, well, actually no, there was some times where it sunk. Maybe I need to go back on my decision to make this massless. Um, yeah, let's make that let's give that a specific mass. So okay, it's a little bit better, but not perfect. Let's can I do can I do axis specific alignments? Uh, mode to attachment. Sorry, what's up? Apologies, dupe. Yeah, under arm wings. Maybe we'll see. That's a little bit harder because rigging is a nightmare. We'll see. I agree that'd be cool. I can see why people would want that. The question is just whether I can do it in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, like I think it really is just like how do I make this not go through this boundary point? And that okay, I have a new plan. We're going to make a new part. Okay, I call this the boundary part, and we're going to use it as sort of the, we're going to use this as a, I don't usually role play that often. It's been, been a long time. But I like working on game dev stuff. That's my favorite thing to do. Okay, let's try the prismatic constraint again. And okay, cape boundary. We're gonna try the prismatic, the plane constraint, and then we're going to let's see. We're gonna do a rod constraint between cape boundary and this one, and that will be okay when I unanchor this. And then we're gonna have a plane constraint for that and that. Okay, so that's the current direction of things. I'm going to make this one massless. I think this one should be massless. Um, but yeah, so let's look at this plane constraint. So right now we have it, um, let's rotate it 90 degrees for starters. Okay, so we have this plane constraint happening right here. It is, and then let's make this rod constraint shorter. Let's make it like 2.5. Let's also make this a size 1. Keep things simple. Let's make it red as well. But yeah, um, I am definitely open to having stuff like billboards and like having community content in it. I'm not sure if I'm just going to allow anyone to add a statue. No, statues should be reserved for people who did something really cool. Like, there's this one patron. Like I think it's I know what the name is. I just don't know if I know how to say it. It's like how you say. Um, but that, like, patrons should get statues because they were very nice to support me all these years. Family, mentors, friends, anyone who contributed to it directly. Those are the people who get statues way before any community member. Community members, though, we definitely want to have ways to have people add into it. Moderators and admins, of course, they definitely deserve statues. Um, well, yeah, no, I agree with you, Dupe. The billboards do mess a little bit with the aesthetic, and so I have been hesitant to announce that for sure because I agree it doesn't always look good. Um, but we'll see. Okay, so how about what's the best way to rigid constraint? Let's try rigid instead of rod. Okay. Well, that one there's no offset on this one though. Never mind. At least this one is kind of respecting the boundary at least. Okay, so let's check the plane stuff. Can we define prismatic? Okay, so we have a prismatic constraint. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make a prismatic constraint between Let me just make sure that I selected the right one. Okay. Uh, torso, cape. Okay, so what we're going to do now is have the prismatic constraint attached to the cape one, and then again to, let's have one just for the plane. Let me just verify that I got the right one. Nope, I did not. Okay, so then this one is the plane, this one torso. Okay, so what we're going to do now is attach the prismatic constraint from the cape to the plane one. Okay, all right, so now we just have to rotate that 90 degrees. Let's see, is it the secondary axis? No. Let's try this. Almost. Okay, let's try that. So now, okay, so you can see where I'm heading here though, right? And if not, it's okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing with this one, where, okay, so we have the prism. There we go. Okay, so let's try negative 90. Question is, why is it moving to the side? Okay, so they're aligned. That's good. Let's apply some limits to this. Lower limit. Um, there we go. Look at that. Okay. So now I just need to figure out the why this is all of a sudden having me over here. It's all good here. We're just working on the cape. Yeah, please be nice to people here. Yeah, the how do I make this? Is it an issue with the upper limit? No, that doesn't make too much sense. Okay, so we have this facing that direction. Okay, so torso. Okay, so torso boundary. Wait, that might be it. These are facing the wrong direction. Okay, so let's try this again. So we have that. Let's remove the prismatic constraint for a second. What is going on here? So that part's working fine. Wait a second. I think it's negative. I think I might need to do a thing like that. No, wait, I was wrong. Okay, so If I can just get this stupid gate to fit. Okay, how about I think okay, I have an idea. I'm going to remove the rod constraint. Oh no. Okay, then I'm going to re-enable this. Okay, wait a second. Hold on. Okay. Okay, hold on. Wait, this might actually be this might actually be working now. Okay. Okay, so we just need to make it have a little bit more well, I guess we'll move the cape attachment back further. So like 0.9, 0.7 or something. Okay. Now if we just need to now if we could just have it be I guess limited by the see how do I make it not rotate around like that? Because that's going to get annoying pretty quickly. Maybe I just need to have a second constraint. Hmm. It's rocking. This isn't so much a Roblox thing as a physics engine thing. Basically, there's a lot of energy that's being built up, and the only way it has to free itself right now is with the rotating. And so I need to find a way to make it not do that, which I'm thinking might just be, we'll have to see. So I just want to make sure that I have the best idea first before I do that. Okay, so X align attach. Okay, so now we're going to add a new one to the cape called, okay, so we are going to, I'm going to see if I can get a line position to work in a way which doesn't look bad. Okay, so X align attach. Oh no, probably, let me switch that. Okay, there we go. All right, X align attach. Okay, so how can we best, that's not it. Huh. I guess let's do another plane thing. Plane constraint, and there we go. All right. Okay, let's make this massless, and then see how it goes. Okay, so that actually looks okay, but it's not perfect. And ideally, I would love if the plane, can I configure the, Wish I could put limits on it. Hmm, maybe. Yeah, let's for a moment, let's just make these invisible as well as the rope. It's like bouncing. Huh. Okay. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. I want to be able to have it sway a little bit, so I'm going to have to make a more complex mechanism. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, well, let's see how it looks falling. Hmm. It doesn't really do well with the airflow. Let's try adding a line force. We're going to have it go. Let's go, just. Oh, okay, let's have back attachment and then. Okay, so let's. So is that working? Not really. Maybe let's try using the cape one instead. Like that way to like encourage it to. How much force can I put on it? Okay. Well, maybe not the best. Okay, so cape plane. Hmm. Okay, that kind of works. I might have to flip it. So let's try plane and then cape. Does that work? No. Okay. Uh, Linear velocity. Let's try this. How about we will make it, so we'll make it plane based, and we'll relative to attachment 0, set attachment 0 as the plane one. Okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, it's not perfect. Let's tune it a little bit. Hmm. What's the actual velocity? Let's see. Thank you, Dup. I appreciate it. Yeah, I worked really hard on the map. I really wanted to be a huge upgrade from the original. Let's see. Hmm. I know that certain materials didn't come to mobile for a while. I can't say which ones though. I didn't play too much on mobile, which is probably obvious from the poor UX for mobile devices. Sorry about that. Okay. Hmm. I just okay. I'm gonna try adding a spring. Okay, so let's try adding a spring between uh, the cape one and the. Okay, yeah. So we have that. Let's Come on, work. Push it off a little bit. Exhausting. I gotta be doing something wrong because this should be pushing it away. Yeah, I promise I'll be putting a lot more effort into making sure that the mobile experience works better this time. In fact, this entire map should be very performant on mobile, except for these trees, which I gotta figure out what to do with. These trees will not do well on mobile, but the rest of the map is pretty efficient. Um, okay. What if I change the, what if I change it from a rope to a, what if I had a spring and a rope? Um, is that, is that poor form? Okay, so let's, okay, so torso, then, all right, come on. So that might just mean it's always stretched out. What if I disable the rope though? I should not have done that. Oh no. No. Y'all better buy so much in the game. My goodness. Mm. I want to have looked back and earned like thousands of dollars an hour of this nonsense. I appreciate it. Thank you, Pablito. Yeah. Honestly, I think, yeah, maybe Edna's superhero advice was just that making capes is frustrating, and so it's not worth it. All right, well, we're free to try this again. Question is, what can we learn in our second attempt? Let's see. Let's move the backpack, shoulder thing. Okay. What happened is I got flung through the ground by the physics engine, to which I died, deleting all of the assembly I had created. Yeah, that's the danger of testing on your actual avatar. I really should be making like a little workflow to build this up. But I want to get a vibe for like what is even the best way to do this, you know? Yeah, yeah, and that that takes yeah. I think I've learned that prism constraints are good, but limited. So I need to think of a way to have it. Okay, let's start with a start with adding attachment up here again. All right, so let's add a part here. Phone's buzzing. All right. Oh, this week has been heavy. Okay, so let's cancel that off. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to start by just having a spring. Uh, or let's see what, it's not a, I know there's a word for this. It might be the prismatic constraint. Yeah, okay. So we're going to start by adding a prismatic constraint between, but we want it to work on a hinge. Okay, so, okay, we're going to have this be, we're going to call this the cape hinge. Okay, so that's going to be its duty. Hey there, House Layer. Welcome to the stream. Right now we're trying to get the cape assembly to work. Okay, so cape base. Okay, so I'm gonna do a ball socket constraint. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna have attachment. Okay, so we're gonna have that and that, and now we're gonna unanchor it. All right, so as you can see, we have a nice little cube. Well, yeah, I think that, I mean, I believe Stormlord and Red Rage are on the same team, so I'm sure they get along to an extent. Okay, so I need to put some limits on the ball socket. Limits enabled. Okay, so we have that. That's good. Let's do that again. Okay, let's rotate that by 90. And how does this look? Okay, so it's, I guess, negative 90. And then, okay, so if limits, let's also do twist limits enabled. Uh, we're just not going to support twisting. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so what is the, okay, so we can make this a larger or smaller. Oh, hey, I'm glad you got to meet your friends there. Hopefully this next game you'll be able to meet some more. Let's see. So this is looking better. Okay. So let's make this red. Oh, I'm wearing red, so it's going to be a headache. Let's make this green and force field so that we can still see it, but it doesn't get in the way of other stuff. Okay, so let's make this also 0.5. All right, so we have that. We have the first part of our strategy done. So now that should hopefully reduce this to a one-dimensional problem um, in terms of how to attach the cape. Okay, so let's call this name cape end. Let's add an attachment. Let's connect the attachment with a prismatic constraint. And that should hopefully, oh, not again. You're not getting me twice. Okay, I've anchored my head. So now I'm going to unanchor this. And then that is going to do what it needs to do, which is apparently fall into the void where it is deleted. Oh, wait, no, limits enabled worked. All right, yay. Okay, So now, all right, beautiful. So now I think we should be safe to unanchor my head. Okay, yay. Cape end should be massless. And, huh, despite it being massless, it still seems to be applying a degree of torque on me. It's interesting. Bet that's ruining some engineer's life. Okay. All right, so let's make this a little bit shorter. Hmm. Trying to figure out what's like the best way to what's like the best way to have like wind resistance. I have heard of a Dio. Um, um, so there are admins to the Discord. I don't. I've never had an admin in the game. In fact, that's been a controversial decision. The decision, and so yeah, no, there's no admins in the game. But that might change once we have this game come out. I'll see. I do want to increase the moderation workflow a bit because you see too many cursed stuff in the game as is currently. Roblox's moderation just can't keep up. Y'all have been telling me this for years. I get it. The question is just what the best way to do it is because my number one goal is I don't want to have to deal with any drama. And I can tell you from past experience, I really love my current moderation team, but they're definitely more geared for the Discord. If I add a moderation team to the game, it's a lot harder to sort of keep track of what they're doing. And I know in the past, sometimes you get a moderator who won't behave and cause a lot of drama, and then I get sucked into it, and then it's just exhausting. And so I think I'd much rather prefer a moderation pipeline where like you report certain other players, and then someone else later on just looks at the report and says, okay, ban, kick, whatever. But yeah, so that's the current goal. Yeah, well, I do think that like throwing knives is probably an option in your local Superhero Life 2 fan. I don't know, as you said though, the time stop thing would be tough. Um, okay, so let's rotate this by 90. Huh, what happened? Why is it? Let me make sure that I'm rotating the right axis. Okay, that looks like it might work a bit better. Okay, cool. Okay, so we have that. So let's go back to the beam. Um, so making this, well, unless that's my Brazilian ex who hacked my account, I don't believe anyone should have admins in the game. Also, no, they did not hack my account, but in the scenario where someone is claiming to be an admin from Brazil, I cannot imagine how that would happen. Yeah, no, I didn't get any drama with any exes. Don't worry. I'm on good terms with all my exes. I think that's, that's a nice achievement to have. I'm not on bad terms with any ex. I think that's a goal every guy should have. Let's see. Okay, Cape base. Okay. Oh, so let's see what's going on here. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna give up on that for a second. I'm gonna turn to free models and see if anyone else has done it, because I know someone else has to have. Actually, let me just save my work before I do that. Okay. Let's see, what else did I change? Okay. So far, the types of capes, we're probably just going to be focusing on length for a bit. Um, the main goal right now is just to get some dynamic cape workflow happening. Plugins, avatar model, home toolbox. There it is. Okay. So cape. There we go. All right. So let's see. What the Sigma cape? Okay. Let's see what dynamic cape system. All right, exciting. Okay, how do I ungroup and replicate storage? Okay, ungroup in service group service. Okay, let's see what it does. I'm going to write my own solution. I just want to know how other people are doing it. Why didn't they? Does this person not know how to space out code? My goodness. It's like reading an entire wall of text. Okay, so it seems that they're doing something. I probably shouldn't be too judgy considering the fact that I am literally looking into how they're doing it. So they're smarter than me at the very least. Okay. Yeah, let's see. The fun fact, um, if you use a VS Code workflow, you can actually do formatting dynamically, so you don't have to worry about all this stuff. Okay, so let's go with CJ Euler. Yeah, but this should still be pretty interesting. We'll see what's possible. Hey, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it, House Slayer. This is an R6 cape system. All right, well maybe I can cheese it. Okay, let's just make it upper torso and hope that that still works. Exhausting. This is yeah. No, but like I just want to see like what looks good. I want to get a functional thing just to oh no. Okay. It's not bad. It's better than what I was doing. Let's see how they're doing it. So first, why is my delete key not working? There we go. Okay, so oh no. Oh no. Um, Y'all, this is not how I'm going to be doing that. This would not be performant in the slightest. Huh, my goodness. I always forget how Brazilians laugh. That was confusing the first time I saw it. Yeah, let's see. Let's try something else. This time I'll check beforehand before installing it if it's what the heck? Surprised that made it through. Um, oh well. Looks like this will just be something I work on the weekend. I will I will keep working on some cool kind of fabric solution, and then let y'all know. But yeah, no, we're gonna make something cool. It's just the it'll be a process. Let's see. Yeah, I think yeah. So it's Friday today, right? Yeah. So I'll see. I'll work on it on the weekend. You know, maybe we'll do like a weekend stream or something, but probably not. Yeah. Thank you all for stopping by. Before we go, because I know a lot of people weren't here earlier for this, check out the new layered texture stuff. I think that the character translations are starting to look really good. Check this out. You know, like this is just the better version of these, you know? And so these have come a long way with like, you know, nice assets. Yeah, I think they look better in a lot of ways. Like I really do think that using the textured decorations, because these are layered on using that dynamic clothing system. That's why they take a little bit of time to draw, because it's drawing it one part at a time. But yeah, like you can see, it's like it's rendering out things pretty nicely. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, it's glad to hear. Superhero Life 2 fan. But yeah, no, like I think that like especially with these ones, where like all the assets are more or less done. Like, yeah, this is the one I ended up using for the diamond emblem, just because I didn't have a diamond mesh. I think it looks pretty good, you know. But yeah, like we have the characters getting ported over. Soon they'll have capes. Then you know some shoulder armor probably, but yeah, I think that we're going in a good direction. I still can't believe how long this stupid shoulder armor thing took forever. Oh yeah. So I mean, for the most part, there's no functional thing that prevents it from being done to the legs. I think the question is just how do I want to apply it? Yeah, but no, it's definitely doable. It's just like, you know, I have to, you know, once this game is in a more playable state, I'll start taking requests for like new assets and then we can start adding those. You know, but for the most part, like no suit design is off the table now. Like literally, here is the in case y'all are interested in what that looks like. Uh, and I know I still use Paint.net. I can use Illustrator and Photoshop. I just don't want to pay for them and I don't know. I don't like Adobe. I have messed around with GIMP, but it just seems like overkill for what I'm trying to do. And so here's what the side armor, like the side armor, um, looks like. Where we can let me add just a quick background layer to make it a little bit more visible. All right. So yeah, so it's literally just this. I just create this item, and yeah, like honestly, this is actually something that's pretty cool. Y'all can literally make this. Literally, if you want to make this, and then give permission, probably limiting it to 18 and older people. Sorry, I don't want to work with minors. That's not something I want to do. But if you're 18 and up and want to make assets for the game and have it be sold in the game, though because it's a layered thing, it probably wouldn't sell that well because it wouldn't make sense in other stuff. But for the most part, literally anyone can make this. It's literally just a shirt texture. So, this opens up the door for adding more community contributions down the road. If, there's a quality one and, they're happy to give over the rights for it. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I'm not going to be asking people to make stuff because I feel like that's not cool. Like I don't want to just get like a bunch of free labor from my community. It's more of like, if y'all want to make something, and you're older than 18 and you'd be happy to see it in the game, then like that's something that we can do now because it's literally just a texture now. And yes, so well, no, I'm not so much afraid about turning out like Dr. Disrespect or Drake. I feel like normal people aren't afraid of that. It's more of a I don't know. There's When I'm working with an adult on something and they say, "Oh yeah, it's fine if you do this," like they are an adult. Like they can fully consent to any business decisions and like say, "Oh yeah, I want you to use this in your game." I don't know. It's the same reason you wouldn't like. Uh, I guess if I got like the parents to like sign the document as well, that would be a workaround. But that also seems like a lot of hassle. So yeah, like yeah, exactly. It's a child labor thing. It's the same reason you don't want to have child labor. It's just not a good thing to partake in. If yeah, and so I don't want to get all messed up in that. And so yeah, the and frankly, I think that we're gonna have more than enough assets pretty quickly from just other like UGC people and me making stuff on occasion. Well, the problem is, well, no, but that's your local Superhero 2 fan, please know this and take it to heart. You cannot consent when you're a minor, and anyone who tells you otherwise should be blocked. Yeah, so yeah, tell your parents if anyone's telling you otherwise. Um, but yeah, let's see. I think that that's about it today. We ended on kind of a weird topic, but you know, as is life, I suppose. The Yeah, so that's the entire workflow right now, just having these kind of layered texture things, which should allow for easy creation of new ones over time. I might even consider trying to do workflows where like I take pre-existing stuff and sort of cut parts out of them. Like that's what I do with the boots. Like these boots right here for one of you. Okay, yeah, the boots on both Lone Archeress and Radiant Runner. Um, those are actually boots taken from a Kestrel item, which I have the rights to use Kestrel items in my game because the owner, very nice woman named Anna, said I could. So yeah, the I do really like this little pattern. I think that looks good. Okay, yeah, like for the most part, we're making stuff. I think that the characters are pretty quickly starting to look like actual, cool superheroes. Like we're at a point where this looks like a fine superhero costume. It's not the most complicated one in the world, but I think it looks good. Um, I mean, like so for the most part, what I do for the actual layers and fabric and stuff. Let me open up this one. So it's literally I just take a texture and use it on the background. Like it's literally a like if you take back the mask, it's literally just a texture with this pattern. And so I can swap out anything I want. We just need to get some, demand for specific types of patterns. Because that's one thing. That's actually one thing that we need to consider a little bit when it comes to this kind of stuff. And that is because textures are, what's the phrase? Textures are pretty memory dense. Like loading in a texture adds a lot of memory. Um, and so ideally, maybe long term we'll go into more of a vector art workflow, but Roblox doesn't really have a good vector art import pipeline right now. So, but yeah, I think we're going in a good direction. All right. Yeah, the one cool thing though that this is actually opened up a bit is I can, in theory, do normal maps on the characters. Which let's see what would that even look like? Um, let's see. Let's go to the material service. What's a fun? Okay, yeah. Then let's get the normal map for painted brick and use it on the torso. Okay, so surface appearance. Put editable image there. Put a normal map like that. So yeah, so normal maps on the torso is something that as a workflow that we could definitely like introduce over time. So that could lead to some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, yeah. When I start talking about random technical stuff, you can see them just dropping off like flies. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. I'll get to work on that cape. I'll probably have something cape-like to show y'all next time. And then after the capes, like we're pretty much done with the character customization for the most part. Like I need to create a few more assets, but they're that's pretty much it. I'll probably build the character selection stuff soon, and then just start assembling everything together into a single coherent like workflow, so that you can join the game, customize your characters, select between characters, and like just sort of setting all that up. But like for next few weeks are going to be a bit boring, honestly, once we have that done, because it'll just be so in terms of texturing stuff separately, the functionality exists. I don't know how much the need for it exists. That's one thing I'm still trying to figure out. Like in terms of adding stuff, we can definitely have, the back end supports being able to only apply things to certain limbs, especially the textured stuff. That literally exists. I can show you the code even. Every single textured item contains something like this, a list of exclusions, and that can be written to dynamically if need be. And so we can have it sort of exclude certain areas and then, in theory, have single sided items or double sided, if you wanted to have, if you wanted to have a single item that is editable on one side or the other. But that's all in theory. The problem is there are so many things to do and only so much time. And I do not currently believe that being able to recolor half of a texture um, is something that is higher priority than, say, making all the powers or making new assets even. So we'll see. It's definitely not blocked off, and that's one thing that I like about this current new workflow is that very few things are actually blocked off from being done in the future. I worked really hard to make this as flexible a workflow as possible, and I think it's paying off. I'm able to add new things pretty easily. Like honestly, the entire emblem system was literally like 90% of the code of that's just the hats. And so like being able to handle all that stuff has never been easier. So we'll we'll get through that. I haven't forgotten um, the hopes of more specific coloring of stuff, but that is going to be like that's definitely going to be a post-release thing whenever that would happen. Um, yeah, like and that's how I want to do post-release. I want to just I want to like do like weekly or monthly, however available I am. Um, just like feedback areas, like polls, and people can vote on like what stuff they want the most, and then we can see what rises to the top and just keep going that direction. Um, so I can tell you that there are a ton of masks. As to specifically like okay, so we have 5 pages of helmets. We have 10 pages of hats, 1 page of hoods, half a page of headphones, 1 page of masks. And so like we can layer all these together, like the and recolor them and retexture them. So like I have no doubt that we will find some perfectly workable like if y'all were making cool combo hats before, yeah, like no, I've been going all out on this workflow to make it as dynamic as possible. So we're gonna have some good options for that. Like let's see how let's see let's make a cool combo. Let's see. Sure. Yeah, no, let's we can work on emblems in just a second. Yeah, like we can let's remove the texture from this. Just make it metal. This would kind of work as that one Snow Sister helmet that I was looking for. We can color this to like, be kind of a darkish blue. Um, let's see, and then let's go into back to hats and go to masks. And we can have some cool stuff with that. Let's see, what other options are there? Let's make this look a little bit more fitting. So let's increase that, decrease the alpha, make it just mhm. Yeah. So like you can make like some pretty cool items. Let's go for something for the let's see, mouth, glasses. So let's see, what are some good? Oh no, did I just make Deadshot? um, let's see. But yeah, no, like I promise y'all, you have not been waiting in vain for Superhero Life 4. I've been using this to build up. Ooh, that one should look fine. Okay, so now materials, neon. Is that not the coolest thing ever? So yeah, I have no doubt y'all will be making some really cool things once this comes out. I just got to finish it. But yeah, thank y'all so much for stopping by. Oh, I think I promised to show emblems before I headed out. Okay, so let's do some emblems. I don't have the previews working for the emblems yet, but let's see. We have 7 pages of emblems, so we can do a lot of stuff. So let's. I like the diamond. Oh, that was the diamond. I literally could not find this one earlier. Okay, I'll be using this. So I'll be swapping out. the other one for the diamond later. But let's go with I think it was the gem. The gem one, that's a quality one. So let's apply the gem. Let's scale it. So let's make it a little bit wider, a little bit. Actually, that's fine size. Let's move the position back one. Okay, well, let's move that. Set the texture to metal. Let's set the color to the same as the helmet. Is it the same as the helmet? I guess it's just a little bit less well lit, but yeah. And then, yeah, let's add that S letter. Let's see. So text S. So we can transform this. Let's move it up one. Let's move it back. Let's make it a little bit thicker. Okay, there we go. We can do that. Neon again. Looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. I definitely think that we should have a better long-term solution for the. I definitely think we should have a better long-term solution for things like the what's it called? We should have a better long-term solution for the background. I don't know how much configuration I want to give over it though. Because at the end of the day, that's not what the game's about. Yeah, I think it'd be cool, kind of long term, to have like your customization be done in your base. I think that'd be kind of cool, the custom base that you'll make. But beyond that, well, hey, I'm glad to hear your local Superhero Life 2 fan. One other thing, actually, let me show you for those mobile players out there. Let me physical size. All of this is set up to work with phones. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, the so that's that should all be pretty easy to use. Woo. It's a bit hard to see. Let's fit it to window. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, I've been working hard to try to make the mobile audience not be left behind like they were in the previous games. hmm Let's see. Yeah, but I mean that's pretty much it. Like we can let's see. Would any hairstyles look particular? Okay, that actually looks pretty good. Um, Yeah, the though I might need to zoom out. The problem is there's a zoom gesture that you can do on the phone to zoom out and move the camera around, but because I'm not actually on a phone, it doesn't work. So uh, okay, there we go. But yeah, I don't know who this character is, but I think they look pretty cool. Yeah, so say hello to this new OC. I guess let's add we can add just a basic shirt. Let's go flannel. That's where it's at. Okay. Brightness, increase the brightness of the flannel, and maybe not that much. Then let's make it kind of that blue color. Okay. Uh, We'll just go with the costume base for the shoes. Lock that in, make it a little bit darker. Okay. We can also put on shoes. We can layer shoes on top. Let's do that. So let's apply those shoes. Textures. Let's increase the brightness a little bit. Orange. Yeah. So let's see how that looks. Nice, nice. Same with the gloves. Though those are darker gloves, so they might we might have to work pretty hard to make those show up. But hey, yeah, this is pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, so thank you all for showing up. I think that's about it. But yeah, why is this not? Just a second, I need to check something. Because the thing is, it's supposed to be centering the character, and as you can tell, it's not centered here. So I want to see why. Okay, appearance editor, panel, okay, view container, character view frame. Guess I'll have to figure out what that's about later. Will the loading of suits for suits be better in the future? Oh, so it'll be faster in the sense that right now it kind of redraws a lot of the character whenever I change anything. I'm still trying to figure out exactly why that's happening because it's not supposed to do that. But yeah, and I'll also be doing some parallel Lua processing for the body parts. Um, but like at the end of the day, this is definitely it's definitely going to take it's going to have to still render it like that's unavoidable, but I think I can say that that kind of like processing thing that you see it do, that like where it's loading in, that won't happen when you're using the suit. That'll only happen when you're editing it. It'll save the results of the previous render for like using it in real time. For rendering it, like it's just I'm doing everything I can to try to make it as smooth as possible. I can technically make it go faster, but it'll go faster at the cost of frames. So that could crash certain clients if I don't slow it down too much. But like, I think that it's worth the trade-offs. I think that that being able to make these kind of cool textured outfits are pretty awesome. But yeah. hmm I appreciate it. Well, I mean, I understand that like every time it happens, that would be frustrating, because you want to just see like a change really quickly. So I'll always be looking into ways to speed it up, but I have already spent multiple dozens of hours trying to get to this speed. Um, but yeah, like I think that for the most part, stuff is looking pretty awesome. All right, well, I think that's about all for today, folks. Thank you all for stopping by. Uh, yeah, I will let you know once I have a cool cape. Until then, peace. Have a good weekend.